Greetings from Larrakia country here in Darwin. I've just returned here after a week in Kakadu on an Aboriginal women's weaving cultural experience / tour. It was just absolutely amazing, and I can't wait to share with you some of the videos and photos that I took on this journey. This trip was something that I was really keen to do as part of my PhD research on Australian Indigenous women's entrepreneurship. Now, you might be thinking, what on earth do those two things have to do with each other? And just allow me to explain. For the last couple of years, as I've been on this PhD journey, my central occupation has been this. How do I, as an African-American woman, a migrant to Australia, one who is thoroughly indoctrinated in the Western European ways of thinking, how do I arrive at an authentically Aboriginal way of understanding how the women who are part of the study that I'm doing, how they define wealth? What does wealth mean to them? You see, the Aboriginal worldview, which was put that over here, it operates on many levels of understanding. Yes, the brain, which is what we learn in school, but so many other levels, so spiritual, emotional, relational. Their cosmology, so their way of understanding and making sense of the world, is also encoded in songs and stories and dance and art, and most importantly in the land itself. And that's a bit overwhelming prospect as someone approaching this with research. And I worried that I didn't have the key that would fit the lock of such a highly evolved way of being fully human. And then I remembered LeVar Burton. No, not Geordi from Star Trek, not Kunta Kinte, but the one from Reading Rainbow. If you're Gen X, you will remember Reading Rainbow. That program, when I was a little kid, that was the first time I ever heard about Anansi, the trickster spider, and the Anansi stories from West Africa. Anansi stories encode forms of African knowledge about how the world works in a very similar way that Aboriginal storytelling works. And so what I found is that as the descendant of African slaves, I actually have a code book in my DNA. And I found that by reading Anansi stories and by watching videos of griots and other storytellers from throughout the African diaspora, it unlocked ways of knowing that I could bring to this work. One of the most famous Anansi tales is how he created kente cloth and the spider weaver, Anansi the spider weaver. So all that to say, I won't give any more away, but the time that I was able to spend in Kakadu for the last week was amazing and life-changing. And I think part of it was because I brought Anansi with me to Kakadu. And I hope you enjoy seeing how he managed to express himself in this work, and my ongoing sort of process of trying to do relationally responsive standpoint work with Aboriginal women. Thanks.